Body condition score, BCS, is a simple tool that I feel a lot of farmers should be using on their farms, from just assessing the nutritional reserves on their cows. So the main thing is to monitor and control body condition score all through the different stages of production. If this is taken into account early lactation, in the middle of lactation, late in lactation, or even taking factors in, is the cows actually lame, some of the cows, are they sick, what's the health status? All these should be took into consideration. How we manage this body condition score, especially in late lactation or in the dry cow period, will have a major role on how this cow achieves a successful transition from the dry cow period all the way up to calving and calving down. What is the ideal body condition score? Ideally, we want to be body condition score our cows at least 2.75, having them calving down at around 3 to 3.25. We don't want our cows over 3.25 in the dry cow period and calving down, or we definitely don't want them 2.75 or under 3. Cows that are over conditioned or under conditioned, they're going to be the problem cows in the subsequent lactation. Therefore, it's our job and your job to monitor the body condition score, especially right through the dry cow period. Put them on an individual group feeding plan to get them cows calving down at the right body condition score, or even getting the right mineral profile in. So when I say mineral profile, we want high levels of vitamin E, selenium, to make sure that the cows are able to fight infections, that they have a good strong immunity, that they're not holding any cleanings. Also plenty of magnesium in the diet, that the cow is able to use her own calcium and absorb off her own bones when she calves down, that you're not running into any problems with milk fever, and also that you have high levels of copper and zinc. Zinc for good curtain wall onto the hoof, make sure that they're also similarly able to fight infections, have good feet, and also iodine, that there's high levels to make sure that there's no weak calf syndrome, that you have a good, strong, healthy calf at birth. All these factors are very important, and it's our job within Kieran and Millen to help ensure that you achieve an optimal and successful dry cow period this upcoming winter and springtime on your farm. So here we're looking at a cow. We can see from looking at her spine, there's a lot of jagged points on it. It's not very even. I'd be putting her in a body condition score from looking at the spine at 2.5. When we're coming up now to our tail head ligament or her pin bones, we can see that it's very angular, it's not rounded. Even to get a bit of fat, it's quite a bit of a job. You have to really pinch hard to get it. Even looking at her hook bone, it's very angular, very pointy, sticking out And even looking at her torl, you can see obviously the V. From them angles, you'd be kind of saying 2.5 or even a little bit lower. It's very pointed and prominent, the hook bone, and her pin bones. It's very hard to get a little bit of fat. Now when we even come to our short ribs, even before feeling, I can see the 5 of them very easily. Even our long ribs, I can see 3 of them. Then when you go and feel them, they're very, very prominent. Probably from looking at her short ribs, you'd be even maybe arguing that she's in a body condition score at even lower than 2.5. When you're coming looking at her sacral, so from her spine, from her hook bone, you can easily see a curve. It's not flat. You'd be talking around 2.5, even a bit lower. So overall, from looking at this cow, she's 2.5 or even a little bit lower. This cow definitely needs preferential treatment in the dry cow period. She needs to be put on a special diet, formulated, maybe good silage, maybe 2 or 3 kilos of high energy, to make sure that she replenishes herself and puts on an extra 3.25 body condition score, that she's calving down at 3.25, making sure that she's not running into any metabolic issues at calving down. So here we're looking at a cow. First of all, we're looking at the spine. It's very smooth. There's no jagged points on it. Coming now to the tail head, the pin bones, we can see that it's a lot more rounded. There's a nice pinch of fat. Even if in the hollow, there's a nice pinch of fat. We'll be talking around 3 body condition score there. Also, when we look at her hook bone, it's slightly a bit jagged or angular, but starting to come rounded. You'd be kind of talking roughly from there, 2.75. However, when you're looking at her torl, there's no V shape, it's nice and round, coming all the way to the pin bones. I'll be putting that down as a 3. We can see her short ribs, they're visibly seeable. You can, even with gentle pressure, you can feel the 5 of them. And her long ribs with slight pressure, you can see them and you can feel the last 2 to 3 ribs. Overall, I'll be putting that cow on a body condition score of 3. She just needs a small bit of treatment there. Generally good top-notch silage over the dry cow period will be totally adequate for her to be calmed down of a body condition score of 3.25, 3.25. So for this cow, for example, we can see that she's a very smooth spine all the way up. When we come back to her pin bones, her tail head, we can see that there's a lot more fat, easily grabbed. It's not as prominent, her tail ligament. Also similarly, we can see that our hook bone is a lot more rounded, it's not as angular. We can see that the torl, so from the hook bone all the way to the pin bones, it's a lot more rounded than the previous cows we've looked at. We can also see that the sacral ligament, it's only a small groove, like it's kind of becoming a lot more flat. Definitely from them point of views, you'd be looking at body condition score of around 3. However, when you come to our long ribs, visually from looking at them, you can't see her last 2 ribs. You can only feel them with firm pressure. I'd be definitely saying that that cow could be around 3.25 body condition score. When you're coming up to the short ribs, you're only feeling them there with firm pressure. I'd be putting a score of around 3.25. So overall, you'd be looking at this cow of around a body condition score of 3.25, 3.25. She's just right for drying off. If we can get her calming down in that condition, it'll be perfect. We should be hoping that she'll be running into no problems, no metabolic problems like retained placenta, difficult calving, milk fever. So our main duty to keep this cow is on that condition, not losing or not putting on weight. So just from first glance, we can see the difference. Here's a body condition score of 3. So visually, we can't see the long ribs. We can just about see the grooves in the short ribs. Nice bit of fat on the tail head, and the hook bone is nice and rounded, and the torl is a round shape. Now we can see the cow of 2.5 or a little bit lower. Without touching her or feeling her up, you can see her long ribs, you can easily see her short ribs. You can see her hook bone is a lot more prominent and very little fat around the tail head. That's a quick visual difference between a cow of body condition score of 3 and a cow of a body condition score of 2.5.